And welcome back, friends. Thanks so much for joining us today. I say us because Mark Campbell from the NSC Company and Frank Jordan, the NSC Company, joins us today. We really appreciate you guys coming in. Statistics, Mark, are unbelievable. About 22% of all Americans suffer from some sort of coronary artery deficiencies, and it's now the #1 cause of death. I mean, this is really scary. If a woman lives long enough, it's like men, but we have a huge chance of prostate cancer the longer we live. Women's problem is heart disease the longer they live. And it's scary, and yet you're saying hope is on the way.
You're right, Doug, because that's just diagnosed cases. I mean, who knows who else is out there that has these problems, that have always felt a little faint and you know, get the vapors. So these types of things need to be diagnosed, and we need to get to the bottom of it. But we understand that there are things that you can do.
I'm going to throw you off a little bit here, Mark, just because. Do you have a sphygmomanometer at home?
Actually, that's at the Bay House.
So you really do. A sphygmomanometer is a blood pressure cuff. You know, I had a friend who was told he had high blood pressure 30 years ago. This man, every 10 minutes of the day, he became so paranoid, he'd check his blood pressure every 10 minutes of the day. And then, of course, if it got above 120, he'd have to go back to the doctor. I don't know what my blood pressure is. A couple years ago, I went to Save On Drugs and put my arm in one of those, and it said, hey, you're in pretty good shape. But I don't generally go to a doctor. But I agree with you, if you don't eat properly, if you're eating the standard American diet, this is the most exercise you get, and you don't take any form of supplement, then you need to get to a doctor on a regular basis and get these things checked into. Frank, where do the beta-glucans come into this whole scenario of heart disease?
Good question, Doug. And we often say, well, the immune response isn't really related to the heart, but that's absolutely untrue. The heart is a muscle, one of the largest in the body, and we have to keep our muscles conditioned, not just on the outside, but on the inside. Your immune cells represent 1/5 of your body. And what we've got to realize, we all have heard about cholesterol and all the drugs and the billions of dollars spent for that. And that's to reduce bad cholesterol. Well, what does cholesterol do? Well, bad LDL contributes to the buildup of plaque within the arteries. And the plaque then constricts the blood flow, where you don't get adequate blood flow. You don't get adequate blood flow, you don't deliver nutrients, you don't deliver oxygen. If it gets blocked enough, it's like an avalanche on a highway. You can't transport, you can't move. What happens? We call it heart attack, we call it stroke. It's one of those things that result when the heart is unable to function properly to a significant degree. So what can we do? Well, if there's plaque buildup, we've all heard of plaque. It's a combination of different things. It can be cholesterol buildup, but plaque is not considered by the body to be self. In other words, it doesn't consider it to be something that belongs in the body. When the body says something is non-self, it then sends immune cells to try to attack it. In this case, it's not alive to start out with. It's just debris. Glucans are incredible at removing cellular debris. And that can be in the liver, by the way, another place where if you convert up to 70% of your energy into removing toxins, including mycotoxins, you're fatigued, you feel terrible. In the heart, if you get plaque buildup, you need your immune cells to come in and remove it. Well, here's the challenge. If the immune cells are not in peak condition, they become a part of the problem. In other words, let's say you have an avalanche on the highway. You don't send a small pickup out there to try to remove the avalanche. What will it do? It'll burn the engine up. It will become a part of the heap. And that's what happens. The macrophage cells, if they're not in peak condition, die and become a part of the blockage. We amp them up. We make them into these huge earth movers where they come in. We put enough of them there where they can do the job. We move out the blockage, nutritionally and naturally attempt to do this, and return your blood flow to normal. That's the total goal. I'm not saying that happens overnight. You're on a program. You combine that with CoQ10. You combine that with we have a circulatory formula. Dr. Sherry Rogers has got a great book called The High Blood Pressure Hoax. Recommends our product along with a lot of different doctors because it is so potent in removing these different things and helping your system. But that's just one example of how plaque removal, it's critical that you use the glucans to help your body help yourself.
Frank, listening to you reminds me of reading a book on this, because I do from time to time go to the internet and read about beta-glucan and the stories There are no negative stories about beta-glucan. There are thousands of positive stories, but in essence, what they say about this plaque, calcium deposits, they sometimes erroneously call these carotid artery plaques and so forth, is that what you need is macrophages. Now, macrophage is a type of immune cell. It's a white blood cell, because they're saying that if enough debris exists, and if you had enough macrophages, you could begin to gobble that up. Do these tend to activate those little gobblers, those little Pac-Men in our body?
One of the most potent activators we know. Actually, we call it potentiation. If you need a challenge where your soldiers need to have arms, they need food, you just need a lot of them to go fight a war, it's great. Other areas, though, we have allergies, we have asthma, where in most cases you want to calm the immune response down. This modulates also. In other words, it's like a thermostat for immune cells. If they need amping up, it does that. If they need calming, it helps to calm them down.
Mark, when you guys at NSC were talking about a formula to assist people with heart disease, just based on your knowledge of this macrophage activity and the plaque that develops and why and the immune's role in that, you might answer that simply by saying, you need some beta-glucan. And I think that was very well demonstrated in what Frank just said. But you guys didn't stop there. You began looking for other things that might play a role in reducing the heart's health problems that we see so often, or the circulatory problems. Where did you start, and what did you put into the formula?
Well, you bring up a good point there, Doug. Whenever we look at all of our formulas, whenever we're potentially going to come out with a new product, we first start with the best things we can. We look at things that work, like L-lysine, L-proline, magnesium. We have beta-glucan in there. We have 6 milligrams in there, so that's more for the immune system. Get the phagocytosis to get out there and eat the bad levels of LDL. We also have bromelain in there, which is a type of proteolytic enzyme. If
I still do that, by the way. I can't say that word, but Frank's good at it.
But we just work with the best top quality ingredients and get it in there so that we can help people.
Because Mark, a cardiologist would say, you need more magnesium. You know, if you see heart problems begin, or if you see fatigue, and I want to talk to you in the next segment a little bit about what the doctors who visit this show are saying. They are being blindsided by all these fatigue problems, so I want to talk with you about that. But they'll say magnesium. But you guys have really obviously studied the scientific literature, L-lysine, the proteolytic enzymes, and so forth. So this is a really good formula. It isn't just beta-glucans, it's loaded with other things. And it probably took a while, Frank, to gather all that data. I remember when we did the show 10 years ago, it probably took a while to gather all that data and put it all together.
It did indeed, Doug, because I came down with deep vein thrombosis, called all my medical school friends and said, I need a formula by sundown.
Exactly.
So this got priority, and I have not had any negatives from that in years, and I attribute a lot of that to the circulatory formula, the ammunition glucan.
See, I want to talk to Mark because he's very athletic. You and I may sit on the shelf here a little bit, but when we get back from this break, what role does exercise play in really keeping your heart? It's a muscle, but the good Lord gave you 2 of everything and 1 heart. What role does diet play, and then what role do supplements play? We'll be back.
Did you know God designed your immune response to protect you against the things that make you feel bad? But we weaken our immune soldiers by eating, sleeping, and exercising poorly. To help, I've developed and patented MG Immunition Glucan, proven more than twice as potent as competitors. Your immune cells nutritionally become an arsenal of defense fighting bad things that make you hurt, sneeze, and wheeze. I've arranged for a free sample of Immunition Glucan to see for yourself. That's right, free, no shipping. Don't wait, call now.
I love those earrings. I need to get some for... Oh.
Are you okay?
This lunch isn't agreeing with me.
Wait, I can't believe we haven't talked about this before now. About 6 months ago, my doctor recommended that I change my diet and start taking Dr. O'Hara's probiotics. Ever since I started taking them, I feel fantastic. They are amazing.
Dr. O'Hara's probiotics, established by science, endorsed by doctors.
A dear friend of mine gave me this book some years ago. He was educated at Johns Hopkins University. This book says it's very difficult to differentiate between fungus and cancer. Folks, if they can't differentiate between those two, what about diabetes and fungus? What about infertility and fungus? What about weight gain and fungus? I've written a series of 8 books now that you can sit down and enjoy one of them or all of them, from the Fungus Link 1 all the way to the study of what cancer really is. Call our office today. Okay, welcome back, friends. Now, Mark, I want you to look at that picture, and I want you to go over those with me in just a moment. I have to read you from the American Heart Association. Here are health tips. Frank, we're going to have fun with these. Number 1, substitute fat-free or low-fat milk for whole milk. Number 2, enjoy fat-free, no sugar added, not no sugar added yogurt instead of regular yogurt for a fraction of the calories. Number 3, cut your favorite candy bar into bite-sized pieces. Number 4, have 6 servings of whole grains, including bread and cereal. Number 5, have 1 to 2 servings of meats. Number 6, substitute margarine for butter. Now here's the classic. The American Heart Association's educational page for lowering cholesterol is sponsored by Pfizer, the drug company. I mean, this is, you know, it's so funny because they say, Doug, certainly you must own stock in Frank's company, or you probably get $1 per bottle sold. Nope. But boy, if I was American Heart Association and had a drug company sponsoring me and told people, eat a lot of margarine, huge numbers of grains, that would seem okay to most Americans. You guys have to stop thinking this way. I don't think that's okay. Mark, you're an athlete. Don't you, what do they call it, snowboard on water or something? What's that called?
Wakeboarding.
Wakeboarding.
Mountain biking.
Snowboarding on water. Mountain biking. And you're one of those wild athletes then. Do you get this high when you're done? When you're standing in the shower, it's like one of my runs. You're just higher than a kite. And you know that the blood pressure goes down afterwards when you reach that you know, range. And you know that your heart's in good shape. So you probably don't run to a lot of doctors, I would guess?
No, I don't. I keep up on my nutrition and supplementation, but as well as I realize that the body is a machine in many ways, that you get out what you put in. And by eating healthy, consuming a lot of water, and just treating yourself well, you'll get a lot of great results.
What do you do at NSC?
Oh, well, I'm a vice president, and I oversee the processing of the material, the beta-glucan, where we make it the way we do, the only place in the world. So that, as well as some of the day-to-day office operations, some of the new formulations of products, and many other things. Even take out the trash from time to time.
I cleaned a bathroom or so at the studio myself. Do you get to communicate with any of the people that call in?
I'm quite fortunate to be able to take up the slack whenever we do get the big burst of calls that we do there at the office, and we all do. I mean, so you'll even get Connie on the phone, and if you're lucky, you'll get Frank as well. But I'm quite fortunate to be able to speak with the people that watch the show quite often.
Do you see a trend in people who take beta-glucan, the micronized? They keep ordering, obviously, but do they share with you some of their health reversal or their disease reversal?
Well, I have to say, Doug, some of the best times in conversations that I have on the phone is whenever we get people telling us what the sample's doing for them. You know, I'm not going to make a promise. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to see all these changes in just a short period of time, but it surprises me whenever we do get people like that. And it happens often, quite frequently.
Isn't that exciting?
It is.
Who'd have thunk, you know? Now, when we showed you those 3 products that were sitting on the table, one was your multi, the other was the NSC 24, and the other was your heart product. Tell me a little bit about each of those.
Well, like I mentioned before, the circulatory formula is one of our more popular products that Sherry Rogers talks about. Wonderful for improving the circulation, helping the heart. We also have the original beta-glucan formula there. It's the 3 milligram dosage for health maintenance. And we have our Gold multivitamin, which is just a wonderful package of B-complex vitamins. We have some enzymes in there, minerals, and just great product altogether.
And then most importantly, a question I wanted to ask you all morning. What kind of dog is that in your truck?
Oh, goodness. Well, she's my English Cocker Spaniel, my bird dog, so.
That is the coolest looking dog. It bird dogged me, by the way. When you let it out of the truck, it ran right over to me. Something. I mean, I may be fowl or fish, but it really likes me. Congratulations with the vice presidency. I really appreciate that. I know you've grown through the company, and thank God you're on the phone with these lucky, wonderful people. Frank, the company started with a product, remember that? With beta-glucan 12 years ago or so. And you now see to my left an array of products up there that have been developed since. In other words, you said we'd like to help people with their heart, but we're not happy with just magnesium. We want to go into lysine, we want to go into beta-glucans in it and so forth. What other bottles do you have back here that might help people?
Well, Doug, we've been very fortunate through the years associated through the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise show. I've come in contact with some of the leading physicians and researchers in the world. We have a stress formula that's just magnificent. Anybody that's not under stress, don't worry about it.
And don't listen to it.
Okay. Now, it is wonderful. It combines, they all have the glucan in them, but they have so many other things. And this has just, it's a huge formula, but it really will help you to, it's the calmness, but more than that. It lets your body be at peace as well as your mind. So it's a stretch, it stretches further than the normal stress product. We have a joint and tissue that is just magnificent. It has the glucosamine, the chondroitin, but it's so important, Doug, we have only the very highest quality products, and that's just critical. The eye care formula is now probably our number 3 because it's unique. It's a capsule. It's not a drop. We put all the most important things in it. NSC is in there for glutathione production. You just go through the major things that you have to have for proper eye care, and it's there, whether it's macular degeneration, glaucoma, cataracts, all of these things are real issues. We have a number of other prostate formula for men that a lot of companies don't work with. We have put that together. We have an Immune Plus that's very good. It has instead of having 40 bottles, you put it all in one little bottle with the glucan. Then we have the ones for allergy and respiratory.
Oh, that's got to be selling now.
Huge seller. In the summer, the allergies are off the. And as you know, you knew me when I had all of these things. If I moved, it seized, squeezed, or sneezed. It was terrible. And I don't have any of that anymore. I attribute it to the glucans with a lot of other good things in there. So we have respiratory for winter also, just the real challenges. Some specialized product, milk thistle with the liver, with the glucan, with cellular debris removals, very important. We have a colostrum that's the highest quality. I love this. Transfer factor is in there. Growth factors already there. This is a super immune product and with the skin. And mentioning skin, I can't leave out ImmuSkin because the ImmuSkin cream is just magnificent. Very little fragrance, but potent, stops itching. And then, of course, the caprylic acid that we have in Doug's Duo, a great fungal fighter naturally with the glucan.
Frank, you and Connie both have the most incredible skin. So 4 or 5 months ago when you were here, you gave me a bottle of this little ImmuSkin. And I've been, putting it on my skin after my run and so forth, and it really is remarkable. One of the things I love about it is it's putting the beta-glucans directly on my skin, and it's not an emollient. I don't have it fall off all day or anything like that. It's absorbed into the skin. But also, it's not greasy. That's just one thing. I've tried various and sundry things through the years, and I really like the ImmuSkin. I mean, you guys have done a bang-up job of putting all these together. Frankly Speaking, you still sell Frankly Speaking?
We sell that. All my kinfolk already have it, so we've discounted it now for all our friends.
You printed 40 copies. Okay, we're going to be right back with more from Mark Campbell, VP now of NSC, and Frank Jordan, who is the president of the NSC company. We'll be right back with you.
I'm Guy Evans with great news about your battle with high cholesterol.
Take control with Cholesterol Control, an all-natural supplement formulated to assist in reducing bad cholesterol, boosting good cholesterol, and stabilizing triglycerides. Yes, it does have side effects.